Chapter 8, The Art of the Solo Table. While Orlando is at the heart of this story, I have a lot more going on in my entire existence. I've lived too much life and survived too many silences to let my identity be swallowed by a man, even one who looks at the moon for me. I've always been a creature who craves the edges of the room, the quiet observer who finds more comfort in a solo table than a crowded party. As time passes, it has been noted that more and more folks seem to be surprised that sitting at a table alone is something I enjoy. I am told that they would never do it, or only if they absolutely must. It's amazing to me how many feel like perhaps I require some pity for this. What they don't see is that for me, it's an ultimate luxury. I like to go out for meals by myself. I'm a creature of habit. I visit the same places regularly, order the same dishes from those same places. I've built a career around the idea that living spaces determine how we feel. So I can't help but audit every room I walk into. Today, I was sitting in my favorite neighborhood pub, my mind instantly deconstructing its layout. The lighting is too harsh for an intimate conversation, I had noted, sketching the floor plan in my journal. The bar to seating ratio creates a bottleneck that triggers anxiety instead of relaxation. This is where my mind lives, in the form and the function of the world around us. High-end brands hire me to tell the stories of the companies and its offerings, whether it's a $20,000 French-made stove or the ergonomics of a luxury island for the kitchen or elegant cotton kitchen linens. I don't sell furniture and decor. I find the heart in the home and the products. It's why companies invite me to keynote their retreats and why I'm increasingly asked to speak at health, wellness, and psychology events. I explore an open conversation about how we occupy space and how those spaces, in turn, occupy or free our minds and hearts. As the owner and founder of my own company, I'm used to being the one in control, the one with the vision. But today, I was having a difficult time focusing on my sketches. I kept coming back to my phone, a habit I was trying to break. I pulled up our shared business account, the one I'd set up along with our business number to streamline our future. I noticed a significant withdrawal. My pulse skipped, a
Oh, sorry.
flash of worry pricking at my skin, but I quickly erased it. He's probably just putting down deposits on contractors, I told myself. He's finally starting our build. I let out a shaky breath, reminding myself that I had a teammate now. I was so used to doing things on my own that sometimes the weight of having to struggle in isolation was crushing. I had to consciously talk myself down. I didn't need to do this alone anymore. I had Orlando. I let the worry go, sitting with my eyes closed for a quiet moment, imagining that all my worry was trapped inside a bubble container and I was blowing it out into the wind, convincing myself that this was just part of the growth needed for our new life. He told me so many times that I could trust him. I believed that now, mostly. Or I knew that I wanted to. My attention snapped back into my immediate surroundings, the pub. I was midway through my coffee when the atmosphere shifted. A couple sat at the table behind mine. It was a slow motion car crash of a dialogue. A man and a woman. At first, he was talking about a promotion, his voice full of oblivious energy. She was silent. Her silence had a weight that pulled at the air. I felt it. I think we should go to the lake this summer, he said. I won't be there, she said so softly. I held my breath, waiting to hear if he had heard her. I could almost feel the exact moment when his heart hit the floor. He'd walked into lunch expecting calamari and would be walking out with a shattered vision of his future. They finished that lunch in silence. They paid for their orders separately. He tried to pay the full bill, but she wasn't having any part of that. As I sat behind them, I thought about how our childhood survival methods, those old defenses we'd built up when we were small and unprotected, how they always rise to the surface the moment our hearts are touched in adult relationships. It's a strange, cruel irony. Whenever someone touches our heart, they also seem to touch our hurt. What I saw was her rejecting him before he could reject her, a preemptive strike to ensure that she remained the one in control. And he was blindsided again. For his whole life, probably he'd been too trusting, never seen the blade until it was already tucked between his ribs. If their days followed the script I'd seen too many times, she would leave that table, call her girlfriends, and frame his matter-of-fact tone during the breakup as proof of his coldness, neatly ignoring that she was the one who had pulled the trigger. And he would go home, drink a few beers, and listen to his podcasts, drowning the silence. When his friends would ask him to join for pool that weekend, they would expect him to say no and be surprised when he said yes. After some time, they would ask about his girlfriend and how she was doing, and he'd say, she wasn't really supporting my next career moves. It was time. We'd outgrown one another. Hearing this come from his mouth, he would almost believe it. Listening to them over this lunch, I felt a strange sense of detachment. I am a woman who's trying to step out of the shadows of her own mind. Historically, I haven't let anyone in enough to expect anything from them. Expectations were just an invitation for disappointment. But Orlando, he's different. When I'm with him, I'm fully immersed. I am a lover, a partner, appreciated and understood. We were in the midst of constructing something new. Feeling loved and supported was new for Orlando as well, and somehow different than what I grew up knowing to be true. I feel like I can actually count on someone. When I am sitting at a table on my own, this time was for lunch, I'm just Delilah. I'm a woman who can watch the world break and mend itself, and I'm finding my own center. I'm finally learning that being too much is only a problem for relationships where I felt not enough. And Orlando is more than my romantic mind had ever imagined love could be. A romantic surrender, letting my wall down. In so many ways, Orlando taught me what I needed without being pushy or hurtful. His belief in me made me feel like anything was possible. I hadn't realized that until he told me this is the way he feels with me.